Okay, guys, so I worked an entire month using just Indrive and I wanted to share my experience. Now, let me start by saying this is not a promotion of the Indrive app, it's just a personal experience, okay? Because what I found was intriguing and I thought, why not? Let's um, let's talk about it for a little bit because essentially we are in this ride sharing space and it seems like one of the most predominant complaints is how the drivers are neglected and not making enough and well, all of that story. So InDrive was intriguing for me because it felt like maybe this is an improvement on the already existing ride sharing apps that we know about. I'm going to give you some pros and some cons, advantage, disadvantage, merits and demerits that I found with the app. You can make an informed decision, but inclusive of that, I'm also going to just give you a general sense of my own experience. So, what had happened was I think Indrive kind of picked up this year, and the app essentially uh, purports to take 10.74%. That's 9.99% plus 0.75% in VAT payment. So a total amount of 10.74% in commission. Now, Bolt and Uber, the giants in the e-hailing platform as far as Nigeria is concerned, they take 20%. Now, that's 20% plus VAT and any other booking fee, tolls, or any other hidden fees I may not know about. Because I've in the past argued that these guys are not taking just 20%. My calculation never falls within 20%. It goes a little bit above 20%. Sometimes it's 21 point something, sometimes 22, sometimes 23. So I know for a fact that it's not 20%. So this got my curiosity stoked when I got to realize that I could be driving on InDrive with half the commission payment that I used to pay to Bolt or Uber. My major concern was, would I still be able to make as much profit? Because I know with reduced commission probably comes, with reduced fares. And the fact that the app itself allows customers to bargain prices with you, well, it puts me in sort of like an awkward situation. Not awkward, but, well, not very confident position because I don't want a situation where a customer is pricing the trip for something that is way below what it should be worth. Now, I don't have that problem on Bolt or Uber. Uber already calculated the distance and then gives you a fare that seems proper, presumably, right? But on InDrive, came to realize that the customers can actually bargain. And also, it's about the fastest fingers first. That bargain goes to as many drivers as it can capture within a particular area, and any driver who is quick enough to pick up on that offer, or not actually just pick up on the offer but presents their offer first, the customer gets to just pick and choose who they want to go with. But with Uber and Bolt, it seems like when they book, you get it directly, and it's either you accept or you don't accept before it goes on to the next person. I think that's how it operates on those other apps. Now, this got me thinking, if Uber and Bolt is 20% and InDrive is 10%, point something, what this means is um, for a commission of, let's say, 5,000 naira on Uber and Bolt, I would have to have gotten a gross income of around 25,000 for me to pay them 5,000 in commission, because 20% of 25,000 is 5,000. Whereas on Indrive, it's around almost 50,000. That's 10% of 50,000 is equal to 5,000. So, to tackle two things here. Number one is about the bargaining by the customers. I hope that the fare is proper. And then number two, I also want to be certain that I don't remember what number two is. All right, let's talk about the fares. Now, it was because of these fares that prompted me to make this video I made the last time about calculating what seems like a proper fare for certain distances. And in that video, a summary of it quickly is any trip from, well, 10 kilometers to 20 kilometers. We times the kilometers by 100, and then we add a base fare of 2,500. And this changed simply because of the recent hike in the price of fuel. And then if it goes above, oh, I'm sorry, that was wrong. Fuck. Let's do this again. Any fare between 10 kilometers to 20 kilometers, we simply add 2,000 as a base fare and times the kilometers by 100 to get what seems like a proper fare. And I call this proper fare because if you look at the boat app, you also have the fare falling around the same range. Any fare above 20% and below 30, oh my God, not 20%, any fare above 20 kilometers and below 30 kilometers, we add 2,500. Again, if you pair it with the prices on Uber or the prices on Bolt, you find that it is almost the same, sometimes even better. And any trip from 30 kilometers and above, we add 3,000 to the base fare and times the kilometers by 100. Okay? Most of the time, you pair it together, you realize almost the same, sometimes better. A very practical example was this. Just a couple of days back when I was out for work, somebody had booked me, and when I went to pick up the person had asked me if I was calling from Bolt or Uber. It's almost like maybe they booked the two apps and hoped that one person would come the earliest. I don't know. But when I got to the location, I wanted to know what boat would have taken for that same trip. Okay? So I checked on the app, and then I realized that Bolt was taking somewhere around 3,400. But then the amount I had accepted that trip for was 3,200. So you get my point. Now for 3,400 on Bolt, you're going to have to pay 20% of 3,400. But on Indrive, I'm going to have to pay 10%. So I'm making more than a person who accepted the same trip on Bolt or on Uber. I'm literally making more, because my commission payment makes the difference. Unless, of course, you are somehow able to wiggle your way around, going offline and things like that, and that's good for you, right? So, let me not dwell too much on all this. Let's get into some of the merits and then the demerits. One of the merits is this. I love the Indrive app for this. Number one, options. Lovely, lovely, lovely options. They come in their numbers. Really love it, because whenever I look at them, I open this one and then I'm actually able to see detailed information. Literally my locate or my position to where I'm supposed to pick up the person, and they will even show me the kilometers or the time it will take, the distance, sorry, not the time, and then from there, the distance to where the person is going. And I'm literally able to look at it and understand, okay, this person is going to this exact location, and I ask myself, do I want to go to that location? Because is it good enough for me? Is it a good place to go to? Because I am very, very picky. I don't go to every location, so I love that information from Indrive. I really do. In Abuja, there are certain estates are located in different locations. For instance, the Akko Estate, ACO. There is an Akko Estate in Lifecom. There is one if you're going past the Dunamis Church along the Express Airport Road, going to the airport. There is another Akko Estate there. So I had done this mistake once on Uber. Somebody had booked me. I saw the person was going to Akko Estate. I'm like, yeah, of course, I'd love to go to Lifecom. I love Lifecom. Not really, I hate the road, but it's a good place, right? You get trips from there. So I accepted, only for me to start the trip and realize it was Airport Road, man, and that place is like deserted. It's not deserted, but when you go there, very, very little, slim to zero chance of getting any trip back. You may have to drive a little bit, before you get something, and that can be very frustrating. Do you get my point? So I love the detailedness of the Indrive app. It comes with all these little details, and I love it. I love them for that. The other thing is the fares. The fares are actually not bad. Okay? But in case they're bad or they're not up to mark, because you have very wise acres for riders, some customers are quite brilliant with this pricing situation. So they just, for instance, let's say a person was going, I don't know where to where, but let's say a distance of 30 kilometers, and they quoted the price of, let's say, 5,000. That's a bad trip. That's a bad trip. You don't know because you didn't do the calculation, right? And because you just saw 5,000, you're like, of course, it's a good trip. You accept it quickly. No, it's not. For 30 kilometers, according to my calculation, which I think is more or less commensurate with what you will get if you were driving on Uber and Bolt, which, by the way, have the highest fares. So I think that should be your yardstick for determining what fare is good. 30 kilometers means you should times 30 kilometers, 30 by 100, which will give you 3,000, and then add a base fare of 3,000. So the trip should be 6,000, not 5. You're losing $1,000. It's a lot. Come on. You get my point, okay? Don't be too hasty to pick up on it, but I just love the fact that that option is there, and then the fares are not that bad. Besides, I've been, booked to go to certain locations where I was paid way more than expected. This cannot happen on Bolt or Uber unless there is a search. But with Indrive, it doesn't even have to be a search. The rider just has to be desperate enough. So, especially in the late hours of the night or towards after work is done and all that, some people just want to get home or just want to get to certain locations. They just quote the price at a very ridiculous rate, much higher than it's supposed to be. And it's like, bro, I just want to go. Okay? If you can come, I will pay you. I just want to go. Another thing I do is whenever I want to not go to somewhere and somebody's offering a certain price, I tend to increase the price just because I don't really want to go there. But if you're willing to pay me that much, of course, anything is possible, right? For instance, last week, or was it last 2 weeks? I can't remember now. I had gone for a distance of 30 kilometers and I went to Jikoyi. I personally don't like going to the area. It's too rough for me. There are bikes, there are kekes, there are taxis, there are buses. Everything is on the road, really. There are people too. I mean, there's supposed to be people, but it's just kind of too rough for me. So I used to shy away from those areas. So I went to that area, and the person, like I said, was a distance of 30 kilometers, 38 kilometers actually. It was quite a long trip. And according to my calculation, the person should have paid me somewhere around 6,800. But the person actually paid me 10,000, right? I didn't even have to argue with the price. Like, that was the first initial offer. It just happens that I was the only driver around the vicinity at the time. And the person just paid. What you get? So that's the sort of thing you could get on Indrive. You, you don't get inflated prices on Bolt and Indrive unless there is a surge. And by surge, it means that there is a continuous request, more requests, and there are more drivers available. That's what creates a surge, unless it's, of course, artificially done. Okay, and then the other thing is, well, the Indrive app doesn't have a limit as to the time you can spend on the app. The the Uber app actually is the only one with this feature. It only gives you 12 hours on the app. Personally, I work more than 12 hours because I don't work every day. So the one time I go to work, I tend to want to work as long as I can. So I work more than 12 hours. So it's not very favorable for me. I understand that they mean well by giving a 12 hours limit on the app or at work, but for me, it doesn't bode well. Uh, Another merit is this. I think a lot of people, even on the app, don't know about this feature. It's called city to city. A person could be traveling from here to Ilorin, to Ibadan, to Lagos or something. If you go on the app, just by the option button, you will see an option city to city. It literally outlines customers who are willing to travel, let's say, to Niger State, and they would state the date. Some people actually book 1 month ahead. Some people book like 5 days ahead. Some people almost immediately. But if, for instance, you're going off station, you're going out of Abuja, you literally have that option. Do you understand how good that is? You don't have to drive empty. You could actually have a customer with you and negotiate a good price and actually go, much better than stopping on the road and picking up complete strangers. I mean, everybody's a stranger, but the road strangers are just the worst kinds of strangers to pick up. Okay, so that's another merit. And the commission payment is quite seamless. I love the fact that you can't really owe them. So at any point in time, there is no question of you owing. If you are owing, then you have to settle them with something before you can go online. And I think the minimal amount to pay in is around 1,000 something. I think 1,005 or 1,003. So, which is quite doable for anybody who is in the space of ride sharing. So, demerits, problems with the Indrive app. It doesn't have a wait time charge. I hate that about the app. Some customers will book you and it's like that's when they actually got up from the bed and started to bathe and get ready. You will be waiting and it's so frustrating, right? And there is no charge, no penalty whatsoever to that rider. Secondly is the commissions get deducted even before you complete the ride. Just by accepting the ride, the commission is gone. And then when you don't carry out the ride, they get to refund the commission, but only after 24 hours. Quite frustrating for me, right? Because some days I go out to work and let's say I deposit certain amount of money into my commission payment account on the app, and I'm hoping to just use that. But in cases where customers book and then cancel afterwards, it doesn't bode well for me. I mean, I still get the money back, but only after 24 hours. So it's sometimes it's very uncomfortable. That's what I'm saying. Another, are we talking about merit or demerit? Yeah, demerit. Okay. Another demerit is that, well, I wouldn't say the app is the most efficient when it comes to network stability. Okay, sometimes there's too many processing and it's like, open already, so it can be frustrating sometimes. What else? The app, I think that's all I can think of. I don't really want to magnify what is in there, but those are some big major demerits off the top of my head that I can think of. Okay? Um, so that's my experience, essentially. That's my experience, and I would love for you to try it out. I just feel like one of the biggest boost for anybody in the ride sharing space is the fact that they take 10%, not 20. So that's probably like half your commission. I mean, that's like an answer to your prayer for lesser commission from both. And some people who had gone on strike and all that past couple of years or months for this particular reason, and now there is an app that actually takes 10%. So with a very good customer base, mind you, they're not customer stuffed or rider stuffed. Like if you're on that app, your phone would buzz all day long. That's how good it is. Okay. Again, please, this is not a promotion. It was not a promotion of Indrive. It's an experience, and I think it's good. So why not share? We're done. We're done. Bye bye. Wait, I just remembered one more thing. Indrive gave me a movie ticket. Not one, four movie tickets actually. I was at work one day. I got a call from one Ifoma. A lady said she was a representative from Indrive. How far? I'm from Indrive. I say, okay, can we talk later? I'm driving. He's like, no, wait. I'm just calling to tell you that you won 4 movie tickets in any Silverbed cinema in Abuja. Of course, I thought it was a joke. I still think it's a joke. The truth is, I'm yet to use the ticket. It's 4 of them, and it was just booking codes. So they said it's valid till 30th of November. This was given to me around last month, somewhere in October. So, well, it was confusing for me mainly because I never knew there was a promotion ongoing. Now, this is one of the demerits, okay? It's like if you have a promotion going, why not talk about it so that I can consciously work towards it, right? Because from time to time, they have this promotion where if you complete a certain number of trips, they'll give you a bonus amount of money in your commission wallet. So that I can see, that I can work towards. But when it's just random, like you're saying I just got ticket for doing what? I mean, I know I was on the app, but I'm guessing so is 100 more drivers, right? Did we all win movie tickets, or you get? So I'm yet to try it. I'm yet to test it rather. Okay. If it does work, it's a very good motivation. It was good. So that's what I remember. Bye bye.